home of music from the universe, online healing retreats, and this program. Claim your free registration to daily shows at acoustichealth.com. acoustichealth.com, your portal to the inner realms. Our program starts shortly. Welcome to another Quantum Conversation, brought to you by acoustichealth.com. I'm Loren Gailey, and I invite you to sit back as we enter the quantum realm, that space of the greater part of you. It is your connection to infinite possibilities, infinite potential, and infinite mastery. And in this quantum conversation, we are going back into ancient remnants on our planet, this time the Bosnian Pyramids and the mystery they left for us in this great shift of the ages. My guest today was invited to visit Bosnia by the man who discovered the pyramids. Judy Satori is with us with a fascinating tale. Welcome, Judy. Thank you for being on Quantum Conversations once again.
Thank you, Loren. It's wonderful to be on the show with you all. Thank you. I'm looking forward to talking the journey.
We are so looking forward to hearing your story. This is such a fascinating story. We are also going to feel the energy of these pyramids. I love this because this is the spiritual side of this ancient discovery. So please start with how you were invited to speak in Bosnia.
Well, Loren, for quite some years I've been speaking at a conference in India called the Global Congress of Spiritual Scientists. And it was in 2016 that I met Dr. Semir Osmanigich from Bosnia, who was the person who rediscovered these pyramids in Bosnia. And it was a joint invitation, really, from this Global Congress of Spiritual Scientists and Dr. Sam, who they invited me to come to Bosnia in May this year to be part of a gathering there and to speak. And I got a topic from Spirit, which was unlocking an ancient legacy. I always get my topics from Spirit, but I didn't really know what the ancient legacy was, and I knew very little about the Bosnian Pyramids at that stage. So just to give you all some background, for those of you who haven't been there, who haven't really read up about it or understand much about it, in 2005, Dr. Semir Osmanigich, who is a Bosnian archeologist, went to the town of Visoko, which is near Sarajevo, about 40 minutes out of Sarajevo, and he was speaking to the museum curator, and the curator said to him, this pyramidal-shaped hill that's part of our town, that's been overlooking the town of Visoko, it looks like a pyramid. Maybe you should investigate it more. And for generations, the townsfolk of Visoko have gone about their daily business just with this very tall pyramidal-shaped hill right next to the town, overshadowing the town. So Dr. Sam got some archaeologists together and they investigated, made some excavations, and what they discovered was that as they excavated down into the soil, they discovered sheathing blocks of very hard concrete. This concrete was analysed and tested and found to be much more sophisticated, much harder, much more complex type of concrete than any type of concrete that actually can be produced today. And also then he started to get townsfolk saying to him, well, when we plant trees on this mountain with long roots, the trees die. So the only vegetation on this hill is trees like pine trees and scrubby bits of scrub. It looks really green and lush, but the roots don't go down that far. because we can see now that they're hitting concrete. So then Dr. Sam created an organization, and he came to understand that there were possibly 5 pyramids in this plateau area, and he called them by the names of the Pyramid of the Sun, the Moon, Love, Dragon, and Earth. The tallest one, of course, is the Pyramid of the Sun, and that was the one that most of the focus was put on at this stage. So as they dug down and they hit this concrete, the soil covering the concrete sheathing of this pyramidal-shaped hill was analysed, and it was found to be 12,000 years old, which would mean that the final sheathing of this Pyramid of the Sun is at least 12,000 years old, and that the soil and the debris covering this pyramidal-shaped hill, or a real complete pyramid, we don't really know yet because it's still covered in a lot of soil, this pyramid has been covered with soil dating back to 12,000 years. So I found this pretty significant, Lorraine, because 12,000 years ago, if we look at the great ages of this planet, and a great age is a complete cycle of precession, we see that this is about halfway back in time in this last cycle of precession, because now we've reached a new cycle of precession. The cycle of precession is the time it takes for all the planets and stars in our galaxy to circle once around the galactic center. And the galactic center is the energy powerhouse for our galaxy. It's like the God energy creation center of this Milky Way galaxy. So I've always spoken for quite some time that this galactic great year, this cycle of precession, was almost 26,000 years. But I'm beginning now to alter this belief and see it as more like 24,000 years, because great sages, Sri Yukteswar in the lineage of Babaji, they talk about zodiac cycles as being 24,000 years, or 4 cycles of 6,000 years. So if we took that perspective, then we would see that 12,000 years ago is right in the middle of this last great age zodiac cycle. Now, it's also really fascinated me that nature is always, God is always precise, the universe is very precise, and these 26,000 or 24,000 year cycles are marked out in 4 stages. So we have like a springtime, a summertime, an autumn time, and a winter time. Now, going back 12,000 years, we're right at the end of the summer, going into the autumn or the fall. This was the first thing that I really noticed and was really reminded of spiritually. Now, also when they were excavating parts of this sheathing of the Pyramid of the Sun, digging down to this concrete layer, they found embedded in one of the concrete sheaths or one of the concrete panels a fossilized leaf. And when this fossilized leaf was carbon dated, it was discovered to be 29,000 years old. So that would mean, Lorraine and everybody, that it is very likely that the outer casing or the outer concrete sheathing of this pyramid was placed there 29,000 years ago. Now, if we go back in time and look at these great year cycles again, and we presuppose it to be 24,000 years for each great age or great cycle, this is going back into the winter period, or the last 6,000 year period of the last great age. So this Pyramid of the Sun seems to have been constructed in the winter of the 3rd cycle of what is 4 cycles going back roughly 100 years that are also part of the 4 cycles that have brought us to the now. Because when I wrote the book, Sunshine Before the Dawn, I was told by Spirit that the human DNA code, or the human being, was created around 100,000 years ago and brought to seed the earth with an advanced 12-strand DNA potential genetic code. Now, this means that in the end of the third cycle, we're seeing this incredibly tall, it's very big, pyramid of the sun being constructed by who? We don't really know. Possibly extraterrestrial beings, possibly Atlantean beings. And so we go on. What Dr. Osmanigich claims, and is written about in his book, is that this pyramid of the sun, the Bosnian pyramid of the sun, has the exact proper orientation towards all the cardinal points, and that there is a perfect equilateral triangle formed by the pyramids of the sun, the moon, and the dragon. So it seems to have been built to very precise, sacred geometrical positioning. Now, these things don't just happen by nature. Only an advanced race would be capable of building this pyramid and the very complex maze of tunnels that exist on this plateau and move towards underneath this pyramid of the sun. Because it's not just the pyramid of the sun, the moon, the dragon, earth, and love that's important here. It's actually the tunnels, the maze of tunnels that spread towards the pyramid of the sun and under the pyramid of the sun, which have only been excavated to about 10%. So we've got this pyramid, which is at least 12,000 years old, and is very likely to be at least 29,000 years old because of the fossilized leaf being found in the concrete sheathing. And we have very ancient concrete sheathing this pyramid, the like of which cannot be actually created today. So that's the first part, really. But let's come back to the underground tunnels at Ravne, it's called, R-A-V-N-E, this maze of man-made tunnels that run beneath the Great Pyramid of the Sun that are about 10% excavated. And we look at how were these tunnels discovered and who built them. Well, when I was in Bosnia, I heard the story from Dr. Semir about a group of boys who told him about a cave that they used to play in. And when that cave was explored by the archaeological team, it was found to be sheathed with concrete, and there were obvious tunnels that were filled up with dirt, stones, sticks, material that was not part of the tunneling. So if you can imagine concrete tunnels of this very hard, seemingly man-made concrete. It is man-made because nature doesn't create concrete, and nature doesn't create concrete of this sophistication. But the tunnels were excavated, which means that the dirt and the stones and all the filling material was taken out. And it was discovered that then they were tunnels, they were leading somewhere, and that all this filler material had been put in at some time in the past. So when the dirt and the stones were carbon dated, they were found to be about 5,000 years old, or the filler material. So 5,000 years ago takes us to the winter of the winter. The winter of the winter really means us going back into the winter, the last 6,000 or so thousand years of this last great age of 24,000 to 26,000 years, when Spirit already telling me that in the winter of the winter, things were shut down. Things like in the winter of our nature, in the winter, we shut down. The life force shuts down. We go into a period of hibernation. So I also want to talk a little bit about another very interesting thing about the tunnels, because these tunnels, the 10% that's been excavated, these tunnels have a very powerful and potent life force energy. In France, there was a physician called Bovis, and he developed a measurement of life force energy, or reading life force energy, which he called the Bovis scale, or the Bovis biometer. And when you measure the level of life force energy in these tunnels, it is very, very strong. For example, for human beings to keep healthy and well, we need a measurement of approximately 8,000 Bovis. But in the tunnels of Ravne, which lead towards and under this great pyramid of the sun in Bosnia, the bovis measurement in some places was 40,000 bovis or even more. So when you sit within the meditation chambers, which you can go into, it's an organization, a non-profit organization that is running this incredible excavation process, organized and overseen by Dr. Osmanigich. When you sit in these meditation chambers, you're actually receiving incredible amounts of life force energy, which seem to go way beyond healing. They're more like regeneration. So we get to this, Lorraine. So it's beginning to create a very interesting picture here of these pyramids, particularly the Bosnian Pyramid of the Sun, being created in ancient times before this last 24 to 26,000 year cycle by beings unknown who had extremely sophisticated technologies at their disposal. And when the plateau, when the Bosnian Pyramid of the Sun was being explored, a stone panel was discovered on the plateau, and it had interesting markings written on it, like letters, which were very similar to rune stones, also found in Europe, dating from about 5,000 or 6,000 years ago. Now, these markings were analysed and translated by a retired US professor called Bobby Scarf in the USA, and they were found to read this: "The gateway is closed. We are at a standstill. We will have to act as warriors to defend and conquer until we can move again through the Stargates." So this is what was written on the stone that was found on the plateau of the Bosnian Pyramid of the Sun. So what does that mean? What is the secret? You know, we've got a man-made pyramid of the Sun, possibly constructed at least 29,000 years ago, because the fossilized leaf is in the concrete that was sheathing the pyramid. We've got man-made tunnels, also sheathed, roofed in this very sophisticated concrete, blocked up with dirt and filler material around 5,000 years ago in the winter of the last great age. And we now come into this time now of 2017. 2017 is the 13th year since Dr. Osmanigich discovered the significance of this pyramidal-shaped hill and started excavating. And this is 13 years. So 13 years since 2005, we're now in 2017. Spiritually, 13 is the spiritually significant sacred geometrical number of awakening. So I feel, Lorraine, that in 2017 something is being awakened, that there is knowledge for us, apart from energy for us, in this pyramid, and this knowledge that lies within the Pyramid of the Sun and within maybe the other pyramids here that are as yet not excavated, that this is a legacy for us to find. What is the secret of the Bosnian Pyramids? This is what I want Spirit to now go into and discuss with everybody. So that's just a little summary so that we all understand what the Bosnian Pyramids are, when they were discovered, and some of the more significant things about them.
Simply fascinating. So incredible. Thank you for outlining that so beautifully. It makes perfect sense about these structures being built in that last great time. Okay, and you also mentioned that we can receive this life force energy from them. So fascinating. If our listeners have any questions, please chat those in. But I think now it would be beautiful to go into what Spirit has to say about the meaning of these pyramids.
Yes. Okay. So I want everybody now, I want you all to open your heart and open your mind. And I want you to understand that there is deep significance in the discovery of the Bosnian Pyramids in 2005 and deep significance in why we are now 13 years later in 2017. So what I also want to explain about this Bosnian Pyramid of the Sun is that when the tunnels of Ravne were excavated, this is 10% of the tunnels only that have been excavated, and they lead under the Pyramid of the Sun, there was a blue lake discovered there, which is water, and when the water was tested, the water was found to be of a very high quality, very pure. This is water, a lake that's been sealed off for 5,000 years, deep in the earth. You could drink this water. In fact, you can drink this water today, and you can buy this water, little bottles of this water, when you go to the pyramids, because this is one way that the organisation, which is a non-profit organisation, has of supporting the excavation, because there's no charge when you go into these tunnels of Ravne. Everybody is welcome, and it's not a money-making initiative. It's a truth-seeking initiative. And so this water, when I sat within the tunnels of Ravne and I meditated, I was told by spirits that this water here, which is so pure, is a connection, a connection to the place that we know of in the inner earth as Amenti, that Amenti holds the pulse rhythms or the heartbeat or the regeneration energies for the earth. And so this water in this lake, in these tunnels, is also a conduit of water which feeds into Amenti. It's interesting also, Lorraine, that when I was in La Sainte-Baume in Provence several years ago, I was reading a book in the monastery library about Mary Magdalene's journey to La Sainte-Baume, which is the sainted cave. La Sainte-Baume is the place where Mary Magdalene is said to have lived for 30 years when she went to France following the crucifixion. So what I read that really rang bells in my head was that Mary and two others of the disciples had followed the watercourse, had followed one of the rivers in Provence to its source in the mountains, and that's how they came to La Sainte-Baume. And I was also told at the time that this place, La Sainte-Baume, was also a very direct portal into Amenti, which is the place of regeneration for the earth, the place of life-giving energy for us, because we are conduits between above and below. So when we go to such places as a conduit, as an energy conduit, as a physical flesh and blood body and an energy field, we are receiving powerful regenerative energy through our physical bodies from below, which is Amenti. So this is why sitting in the tunnels of Ravne at the Bosnian Pyramids is very healing, very regenerating, and many people from all over the world go there if they are unwell, because it's a very life-giving, uplifting place to just be. So what I also was told by Dr. Semir is that at the apex of this Pyramid of the Sun, like right up at the top, there is also very powerful energy, like very powerful life-giving energy, very powerful electromagnetic fields, which go out from the top. But what happens, and this is the very interesting mystery, is that the further they go out from the apex of the pyramid, the stronger they appear to get. And this completely defies all the laws of Hertzian physics, because as an energy moves away from its source, it's supposed to dissipate. But in actual fact, as the energy moves away from the apex of the pyramid, it actually gets stronger. So why is that? Well, what I was told by Spirit also is that it's a bit like what Thoth teaches. It's to do with Hermetic tradition or Hermetic teachings of as above, so below. Because this great pyramid of the sun is really juxtapositioned as above, between above, which is the energy coming in, and below, which is the energy coming up from Amenti. So now we get to the point of, okay, why is this significant? Why is as above, becoming more significant now in 2017 than it's always been. Well, we all know that 2012 was the shift of the Earth from a slower pulsating third-dimensional frequency to a faster pulsating fifth-dimensional frequency. So the whole frequency vibratory pattern of the Earth speeded up. Then in 2013, something very interesting happened. A Stargate opened. The Stargate of Aldebaran opened, and this allowed for successively more expanded bursts of energy, more powerful energies to come into the Earth and into this galaxy, this Milky Way galaxy. Now, this brings us to the point of understanding. In 2013, the Stargate of Aldebaran opened, and Aldebaran is interesting because it is known, or it was known by ancient astronomers of many centuries, to be the divine star of revelation, one of 4 royal stars in the sky that were very significant, and Aldebaran probably the most significant, because revelation is about revealing. What did it open to reveal? And this brings us now to 2017, to January 2017, when a new spectrum of energy began to flood into the Earth and flood into this galaxy. It's a much more potent and powerful God creation energy than we had previously been able to receive from the heart center, or the God creation energy center, the galactic center of our Milky Way galaxy. And this more powerful God creation energy is coming from the heart center, or the galactic center of 22 galaxies. And these 22 galaxies are configured together in a vast multi-galactic diamond-shaped grouping in the cosmos. This, I've been told by Spirit, is the totality of our creation matrix, that our Milky Way galaxy is only part of our creation matrix, and the 22, which is a master builder number, is what is bringing the energy through to the Earth and to us to activate the true human potential that we all hold within our 12-strand DNA. So there I was in Bosnia in May 2017. A lot of energy came through, and it seemed to me that I and some of the other people there were activating something to open this great pyramid of the sun up to receive, as the receiver and antennae. It's a receiver and transmitter system. It's like a very powerful antennae. And I felt that we were opening it up to receive more energy in a better way, and maybe opening it up again to receive this energy that is now coming from the heart center of the 22 galaxies, from the 22 galaxies of the multi-galactic diamond, from this much more potent and powerful God source of creation. So we have this pyramid of the sun, which is like a very powerful generator of energy. It both puts out energy because it's receiving energy and creating energy from a Menti within the Earth, and it's receiving energy. This is the energy that's coming down, and this is an explanation as to why, as you move away from the apex of the pyramid, the energy appears to get stronger, and it's measured as getting stronger. So it defies scientific laws, and it defies the laws of physics. So the Great Pyramid of the Sun is an antenna, a receiver, a transmitter, a generator of energy. So this brings us to the secret. What is the secret? The secret is that this pyramid of the sun is similar to our human body, in as much as that we also receive energy from a Menti, and we also now connect to the energy of the heart center of the multi-galactic diamond. You know, a lot of people have been struggling a bit because we're energy conduits, just like this Great Pyramid of the Sun is an energy conduit. And we are receiving energy from a Menti, which is regenerative. We are also receiving energy from the heart center, this much more potent and powerful energy center of God, from the heart center of the 22 galaxies. And our physical energy systems and our physical organic flesh and blood body is adjusting to energy coming up and energy coming down, as above, so below. And we're being squeezed or compressed in the middle. I've been speaking quite a bit, Loren, about this at the moment, because as we're getting squeezed in the middle, the karmic miasmic patterning, which is the trauma energy that is blocking the energy flows through our body, is being squeezed, compressed, and it's making it a bit hard for us. So every time there's a blast of energy coming in, and it comes in spurts, it doesn't come continuously, it comes in a continual way, which is intermittent. As this energy comes in spurts, this karmic miasmic patterning gets blocked up a bit. So we are here getting activated and prepared. But when we go and literally sit in the tunnels of Ravne, our physical bodies are being activated by the energy. They're being regenerated. It's very powerful. It's 40,000 bovis or more. And there's changes going on within us. Now, what Spirit is saying is that when we sit in the tunnels of Ravne, it's going beyond healing. It's switching us into a regeneration cycle, but it's also switching on our DNA memory, our soul memory of why we're here and what we've come to do. And it's quite interesting, you know, just before we started, Loren, I was talking about the fact that there's a lot of articles on the internet really debunking the Bosnian Pyramids and saying that it's all a hoax. I think from where I sit, because I've seen the evidence with my own eyes and I felt the energy, I believe in the truth of this. I believe that it is true. I have felt the energy. I have sat in the tunnels. I've been contacted by Spirit there. I've been told things. The Bosnian Pyramid of the Sun is an energy powerhouse of a generator, pulling energy in, reflecting it out. So it's a bit like a mirror image, a reflector of the hall of records within us. It's like a mirror that is shining a light on us and activating the hall of records, which is our Akashic records, our cellular memory, our soul DNA memory within us, triggering an activation of our truth in all who go there, so that when people sit there, something is happening within them that is being activated by the energy coming from the 22 galaxies, activated by the energy coming up from Amenti, and switching on something. So it's all about, Spirit say, what we're here to do, why we're here to do it, and to help us reconnect with our knowing and our purpose. So the secret, really, of the Bosnian Pyramids is that it goes beyond healing. It's an activator, a place of initiation. And the knowledge of what we're being initiated to do lies within each one of us. You know, when I meditated in the tunnels of Ravne, I started to get visions about something that I may be asked to do, which is to come. And I feel to go back, because there is something very powerful that happens there in those tunnels. So we'll just have a little pause for a moment so you can get a word in and ask me some questions.
Yes, okay, so you've been shown what to do in these tunnels. They are huge magnifiers of the bova energy, as we see 40,000 bovas, quite incredible. Yeah. And so,
they are huge magnifiers of the energy coming in from the new God energy center at the heart of the 22 galaxies. It's, you know, we've always understood that the energy source for this galaxy has been the galactic center. Mm-hmm. It's like the God creation energy, and all the planets and stars in this Milky Way galaxy, they orbit around the galactic center. But what Spirit have been telling me so far this year, since January, is that there's a much more powerful God creation energy affecting this galaxy and this planet than we have previously known about. And this is the energy that we're all starting to feel in our bodies and in our energy fields now and in the last few months. And it's this energy that is transforming us, but at this moment it is compressing any blocked discordant energy within us, and we have times where we don't feel so good, most of us, because of the powerful energy coming in and the powerful energy coming up from Amenti hitting us in between. And so the Great Bosnian Pyramid of the Sun is a structural receiver and transmitter of energy, a generator of energy, working with the generative, recreative forces of Amenti, but a puller in of energy as well, you see. So the energy is coming from below, from Amenti, but the energy is coming from above. And this is why as we move away from the apex of the pyramid, further up from the apex of the pyramid, the energy gets stronger. It's been scientifically measured to have become stronger. And that is completely contrary to scientific law and the laws of Hertzian physics. So it doesn't get stronger. As you go away from an energy source, it gets weaker. So something is going on there to make it get stronger. And my theory, and what I'm told by Spirit, is that it's because because this Pyramid of the Sun is a receiver and transmitter. It's like a massive antenna. Now, 5,000 years ago, the tunnels under this pyramid were blocked up and sealed off because it wasn't the right time for the opening. But in 2005, it was. And, you know, it was 7 years leading up towards the shift. And now we've got several years, 4 years, we're in the 5th year after the shift. And so this is a very significant time for this energy to be unleashed, so that not only us as we sit in the pyramid, people that go there, but also because this is an energy powerhouse, a receiver and transmitter of energy that is going to help the whole planet switch on to its destiny and activate the truth within human DNA, whether you go there or not. This energy is very powerful because there's other pyramids, other places, other sacred sites around the earth that have been seen as being dormant or not even known about, and they're starting to become discovered, and they're there for a reason. The pyramid, you see, is a figure of transformation. The pyramid, it's very significant. Even when I wrote the book, Sometime Before the Dawn in 2011, I was told all about the Stargate of Lyra on 12th dimensional Lyra, and the significance is that the Stargate is shaped like a big pyramid. And so the pyramid is not just a necropolis, never been really, for people to be buried in. The pyramid is a marker point in time that is about our transformation, that is about our opening, that is there for us to understand the ancient legacies that have been left on the earth for us to find, and they are guide points for us to return to the truth of who we are and the oneness that we may have had as physical beings when the earth was Tara, fifth dimensional Tara, and that we all came from some star system somewhere to bring forward for the people of the earth at this particular time of Earth and galactic and multi-galactic really transition. So the energy that I work with now, Loren and everybody, is the energy coming from Source, from this much more expanded God creation center at the heart of the 22 galaxies, which is designed to switch on human DNA potential. This is the true essence and truth of who we are as human beings, and it is accelerating and will get stronger for the next 17 years up until about 2033, and then continue to get stronger, but not at the same rate. So we're going through a lot of changes very quickly, and it's like the secret is being uncovered. If we go back to that stone with the rune markings on it, the rune inscriptions on it, that was left on the plateau, buried down in the dirt, in the debris, 5,000 years ago, for us to find maybe today when it says, just to tell you again, the gateway is closed in the winter of the winter. We will have to defend and conquer, which is stand strong. Live lifetime after lifetime after lifetime. We will have to defend and conquer until we can go back through the Stargate. Well, now I say to all of you, it's time to go back through the Stargate. But as we go back through the Stargate, which is open, what we are doing is that we are connecting to all of the truth of the possible potential of God, and that this energy of God is being activated within us into a much more expanded way, so that we can live our divine purpose with more empowerment, with truth, and do what it is that we have come to do while staying in these physical bodies on earth, as Jesus Christ said. We go through our ascension process. And Jesus said, you were not to leave your bodies. You will take your bodies with you through this time. And this is exactly what's happening. So the great Bosnian Pyramid of the Sun, as it is excavated, and as more secrets about this pyramid come to light, because it's only a fraction of the information has been uncovered so far. It's only 10% of these tunnels being excavated. I believe that there is more knowledge, more of the ancient legacy left by the ancients. And we look at the ancients, who were these people 29,000 years ago who created, using very sophisticated concrete, either they sheathed a natural hill formation, which was shaped in the form of a pyramid, which is possible, I don't know, or they built a pyramid which is under piles of dirt and rubble and trees with a very ancient concrete, because it's been covered over for 12,000 years. So it looks like a hill. Of course it would after 12,000 years. Doesn't look like a man-made structure at all. But nature doesn't make concrete. So there's something very interesting here.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. And also there's about 400,000 people who've travelled to the pyramids, to sit in these pyramids. All these people are being drawn there for a reason, and I feel that they are being drawn there because they feel within their heart, within their soul, this is where they need to go. As I did, actually. Even though I was invited to speak, I knew within my heart and in my soul I needed to be there. I needed to go there.
I find it fascinating that water is in those tunnels, and the reference to the water and the pure water that's in there. I just find that is fascinating. But here we are going through this Stargate, returning through this Stargate again. It is so fascinating, and it's activating the truth of human DNA.
Yes. Wow. Well, you see, in 2013, when the Stargate of Aldebaran, the divine star of revelation, opened, that's what has allowed these the building of the energy, which we all have felt. We've all felt it in our bodies. It's making incredible changes in our physical bodies, in our energy, and in our lives. The discordant karmic miasmic energy that has been probably recycling in us in different bodies. This is past life trauma energy that we relive and gets reactivated from lifetime to lifetime. This is really being triggered to release. A lot of the work that I've done in the past 20 or so years is about karmic clearing, karmic clearing, karmic clearing. We get a bit fed up with it, really, because it never seems to end. But now we're really down to the nitty-gritty. Now we're down, probably everybody listening to this call who is guided here to listen, is probably down to the dregs, down to the cellular memory, down to the very core level energy that is still blocking, that is blocking us every time there's a blast of energy coming in, as it is now, from the heart center of the 22 galaxies. This is strong, and it's affecting us. So before we move on, Loren, I'd just like to do some energy work to start the ball rolling here today with the energy and what Spirit really wants to bring forth, because what is happening now is literally about us, all of us listening today, going back through the Stargate. Back through the Stargate, which means being able to fully assimilate the energies of all of the 22 galaxies, because they all have a different tonal frequency, but together they create a oneness, like a divine universal oneness of perfection. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to speak energy words of new creation, which are emanating from this heart of the 22, this more powerful God creation energy, which is designed to activate the truth. Just like the Bosnian Pearl of the Sun is designed as a receiver and antennae to activate our truth, very powerful energy inside the tunnels. But we, our physical bodies and our energy fields, are also a divine conductor. We're a conductor of energy from below, a menti, and from above, as above, so below. And this is what I want to do now. So if you just sit with your hands palm up, or lie, or stand, whatever, just put your hands palm up.
Adabelagolista da Krishna Kanya, Adisetalisa Kalisa da Tia, Shays la Codada, Shays la Codada, Shays la Codada, Shays la Codada, Codada, Shays la Codada, Codada, Ogolisa da Krishna Sinia, Amacolisa da Krishna Sinia, Adabelagolisa de Stonna Tasto Kudi, Mokoda da Kataki, as Codada da Codada, is shot the Codada Badicade, and the Badicada City, Mishot the Cadabadica, at the Cadabadica.
Take a deep breath. So on Earth now, we have started a new springtime, a new 24,000 to 26,000, who knows, great age. And this new springtime is the coming forth. It's the bringing the energy in. It's creating. It's actually a fifth great age. It's a time of moving into more of a golden age for humanity. So these are the words I'm getting. As you open your heart into love, and as you move that love into joy, so you will receive more and more of the energies of recreation that are there for you. I talk a lot about the magenta pyramid, which is creating the trinity of vibrations, which are pyramidal, by bringing down a magenta color pyramid over the head to the level of the upper heart chakra, just below the clavicles, and looking down at ourselves, just creating the vibration of peace as we look down at ourselves on the left-hand base of the pyramid, love as we look down at ourselves at the right-hand base of the pyramid, and directing our attention above our head, about 2.5 feet above the head, to the apex of this self-created imaginary magenta color pyramid, purple-pink, and just up there putting the vibration of joy, the joy vibration. Much more expanded beyond love. It's a much faster vibrating frequency than love. And it's the joy vibration which is a bit like the apex of the Bosnian Pyramid of the Sun is helping us connect to the powerhouse of God energy at the heart of the 22 for our transformation and the switching on of our DNA memory, which is our Akashic records, the hall of records within every cell of our body, within our soul DNA, and understanding that the Bosnian Pyramid of the Sun is like a mirror image of our own hall of records. The energy connection is exactly the same. It's also a conduit, and it's a generator using the powerhouse of Amenti. And just like the Pyramid of the Sun, the Bosnian Pyramid of the Sun is a generator, a receiver and transmitter, so are we a generator and receiver and transmitter. And when we create the trinity of energies of peace, love, and joy, when we flood the energy of the cells of our body with the joy vibration, we are becoming a powerhouse of energy that is activating all of the truth of us, more of the truth of us, and connecting us to the source of the God of all, which is at the heart of the 22. So maybe now, Lauren, we should just open the call lines to listeners and take some questions. There's more energy to come, but I think some questions might be good.
Yes, a good way to integrate this. I just want to say personally, when you spoke of flooding joy into every cell of our being and how we become that powerhouse, I felt the elation of that and the energy of that, and then I got really hot. So that's a good thing. So thank you. So beautiful feeling this energy. This is really how we hone our discernment and feel into it by experiencing this energy. I just want to say as well, isn't it interesting with, as you were mentioning, that the beginning of this year, in January, there was an increase in energy, that the Stargate of Aldebaran opened, and we've seen these spikes in the Earth's frequency, known as the Schumann resonance. And now this is an area of contention as well. Some say the Schumann resonance is not rising, but when we look at some graphs, there's definitely something going on. And doesn't it make sense that this is new energy? So the devices that we have on our planet to measure this energy are not really able to pick it up, but they're picking something up. And that just jibes with what we've seen in our energy levels on this planet spiking right in January and then again in Easter and May. So it's just fascinating.
Yes, it's certainly all part of God's divine plan. And and the first 4 years, 2013, 14, 15, 16, were years of preparation and adjustment. 2017 is the year of activation, moving forward, beginning. It's like beginning a process of change. We are all beginning a process of change in a much more deeper way.
Okay, yes, and we're feeling it, and I know many are so looking forward to it, and it's a process for each of us, and we definitely are feeling activated on whole new levels. All right, let's go to some questions. Let's see. Tammy in Naples, Florida wants to know, why does it seem as if her spiritual gifts and talents and abilities are on a pause cycle? With this new energy she feels intensely and works with daily.
This is what I'm being told for you specifically, Tammy, and it might differ for others, but for you, I feel that you have some ancient truth within you that is coming from one or more of these galaxies, the 22 that I'm talking about, and that there's some adaptation going on within your brain, within the neuron pathways of your brain, for you to receive and understand the complexity of this information. So it may feel that your healing gifts are on hold, that because everything's changing, and because this new energy is now flooding in, and it's flooding into you. The thing about this energy coming from the source God energy of the 22 galaxies is that every person is unique and everybody's affected differently, and the truth of the soul, it's the truth that is within our soul DNA, our own personal set of Akashic records. This is what's being activated in alignment with our own soul purpose in this particular lifetime, why we've come to the earth at this very critical time of moving into the new. So for you, Tammy, and everybody, I want to bring through some energy which is to do with linking you up more with the truth, or what it is from the 22 galaxies that is your truth. This is generic, it's for everybody though. It's an activator and a connection. And just everybody just take a deep breath and just let the energy consolidate. Same words that I'm speaking, which are like activator, 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 and connect. That's what they're really saying. But the outcome for everybody will be different according to what your personal and soul mission is in this lifetime. Because my role is as a catalyst to open us all up so that we might all do what we've come to do. And everybody's unique. Take a big deep breath. Whatever sensations you're feeling, everybody who's listening, just know that everything is perfect and divinely orchestrated and planned, and that there are guides, your own guides around you, helping to orchestrate this process. And if this concept of 22 galaxies and a more expanded God force of creation is really foreign and new to you, go back to the Bible where it talks about there are many mansion worlds in God's kingdom, because each of these galaxies was also created by God just as ours was and the earth was. They are presumably inhabited by beings who have a different type of DNA to us, but I'm told by Spirit that all the Christed extraterrestrial races in this Milky Way galaxy have a similar genetic code created from 4 letters, A for adenine, C for cytosine, T for thymine, and G for guanine of the DNA. So we're all made up of the same alphabet of creation. And in different mansion worlds, i.e. different galaxies, They have a different alphabet of creation, so they look very different probably physically than we are, but they're all Christed, which means they are all the ones that are part of the Multi-Galactic Federation, that is, are part of a Christed unity, a God creation energy. Just like on Earth, there are galactic beings that are not of the One, that are not of God, that don't hold the oneness and the love and the joy and the peace and the goodwill. Of course there are. We have those people on Earth as well. But I'm talking about God's creation and the way God's creation was intended in the many-mansioned worlds of God's kingdom. Now, how are you doing?
I'm pondering this Christed ETs in the galaxy, and they have ascended, and they are in this love, Christed unity. And when we think about Stargates and what a Stargate is, that is what we are doing as we come through this heart center and open up to this new energy of love and joy, this higher vibration of joy. Oh, thank you for that. That last activation that you did for everyone, and even the listener, totally made my head buzz. It's really fascinating. I'd like to go to the phone line, Judy. So let's take a caller. We're going to go up to Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Hi, you're unmuted. Do you have a question for Judy?
Hi, thank you for taking my call. Hi, Judy. It's Helen from Fort Lauderdale. How are you?
Oh, very well, thank you, Helen. Thank you. Thank you.
I just have a quick question, dear. I just feel like, is there anything I need to do to open up my heart more? Are you getting anything? I just feel like there's something there that needs to open up fully. I've been doing all of your work, and I'm so grateful for you, but I just feel like there's a little something there that still needs to be opened up.
Yes, there is. And so I'm going to do some energy work now which will apply to you, Helen, but also everybody, because it's part of the spurts of energy coming in, bringing up the very deepest aspects of ourselves, the karmic stuff, quite quickly. Because every time there's a new vibration, a new burst of frequency coming in, it is going to affect all of us slightly differently. But what I want to work with now is the heart chakra, but I'm working with not just the heart chakra in the center of the chest. I'm also working with what's called the lower heart chakra and the upper heart chakra and the heart chakra. So I'm working with the trinity of the heart chakra. And it's all about love, and it's all about taking in the breath of life. It's about trust in life, trust in the process of life, trust in what is coming, trust in the past, trust in where we sit, surrender to what is, knowing that all is well, diminishing the anxiety and the angst of our mental mind and our personality self, and knowing that we are in the perfect place, in the perfect time, that we have all come to this planet to do something, to bring forward some particular aptitude, skill, knowing within us. We all as human beings like to race the process because we get anxious about it. So this is for you, Helen, but it's also for everybody, because I think most people are feeling this.
Yes, thank you.
Oh, what do I do? What do I do? What do I come to do? I don't know what to do. I can't do what I used to do anymore. I don't know where I'm going. It brings up a lot of fear. This is the energy now to help dissolve this. Take a deep breath. And just open, just allow yourself to open and expand into that love, expand into that joy.
Mokoti shti sakuish da ka mati. How are you feeling now, Helen?
I feel really good. I felt like these surges of heat, excuse me, going up and down my body, just these waves. I just feel so relaxed. Wow.
So
thank you.
Thank you. What I want us all to understand, really, probably me included, is that as the energy comes in and it's getting stronger and stronger and stronger, and it will do for the next 17 years. It doesn't mean that we're going to suffer for the next 17 years, but it will get stronger. And remember, we're clearing the deep-seated roots and facets of the chakras. We're clearing the real nitty-gritty cellular memory, the trauma energy. And so what we need to learn to do as people is when we feel a burst of anxiety, caused by the energy mainly, or caused by a situation in our life, like getting a bill in the mail or something, what we now have to learn to do is to identify the anxiety feelings when they come up and dissolve them. And how we dissolve them is we put our hands crossed over the heart chakra. We create the feeling very strongly that we're having, and we say to ourselves, this feeling of whatever it is, this feeling of anxiety, stress, whatever it is not mine. It does not belong to me. I dissolve it with love, now and forever. And just imagine that there's this incredible burst of magnified God or expanded God, because we're all wired up and connected now to the source energy. What I just did in this last transmission was everybody was wired up and connected to a much more potent and powerful source or God energy coming from the heart center of the 22. So when you speak those words, I'll just repeat them. This energy, you could start by saying, with the power of God that I am, this energy of fear, for example, is not mine. I dissolve it with love now and forever. And then just from your heart chakra, just allow this energy to dissolve the energy of fear that you're feeling, the sensation. Wherever you feel that sensation in your body is where you need to send the dissolving energy. Because we will be affected by these energies, for sure, but the more we can surrender and know that we are safe, we are protected, that nothing bad is happening to us, and try to dissociate from the personality fear, the happier we will be. And the more we'll just move effortlessly with grace into the new for us. It's quite an important skill, and I don't always master it either, to be honest. So it's something that we all need to understand now, though, because we're being challenged to step away from who we think we are and merge more with our eternal soul aspect and understand why we're here and to be happy while we're here, really. It's about being happy and well. So thank you, Helen.
Thank you so much, and I've been doing your activation, opening to the new, and I love it. So thank you so much. Sending lots of love, hugs, and blessings. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Helen. Thank you.
Thank you.
Open to the new. Open to the new is just something that I have. It's a free transmission, Lauren. I've just guided to bring it through to help people right now.
Yes, thank you for that. I mean, all of your teachings, this comes from your connection to spirit, your connections to your guides and the higher realms, and this is stuff that you bring forth in your own life, and you are the great tester of it and the experiencer of it, so that is your truth. Well, now would be a great time. We'll take a few more callers, but I want to give you a moment to talk a little bit about your special offer with some things that you've put together for us that people can use. The power of 22, throat clearing chakra, and some other things.
Yes. So I felt it was really important to put together a special offer that will help all of you who've never heard much about what I'm talking about today,
understand the big picture of what Spirit has been talking to me about for 15 to 20 years, because it is a bit of an overwhelm when all this new knowledge of, hey, but did you know all this new stuff is suddenly dumped on us. So I've brought forward to present today 7 one-hour sessions that I did that are called Spiritual Summer School. These one-hour sessions are about helping us understand the big picture. So there's Finding the Love You Seek, the Galactic Council, which is all about the Galactic Council of this Milky Way galaxy, Sirius and the Sirian Council, because Sirius, the star system of Sirius, was very influential in the creation of the human DNA and the creation of the human being and seeding the earth with the human being, in conjunction, of course, with the Elohim, the God energy of this galaxy, not alone. The next session was a star called Lyra. Lyra is 12th dimensional Lyra. It's the gateway to the higher heavens, and it's the place of beginning for all souls upon the earth, creating a new reality about Mintaka in Orion. Mintaka is the uppermost star of the belt of Orion, the place of the Elohim. And the final one of the 7 sessions is Shining Your Own Light. So these are really teaching sessions, understanding the big picture, and they all tie in with the book that I was asked to write down and bring through in 2011 by Spirit, called Sunshine Before the Dawn, which is the story of how and why we all came to the earth. And then I've got a series of transmissions called The Power of 22, which is about merging with these 22 galaxies in a stronger way than you might have experienced today, helping you all disassociate from the challenges of life that we're all experiencing, that we've just touched on, and switching on more of our DNA potential. So that's The Power of 22. And then I have a new program which is only being released live on the show today with you, Loren, and it is called Clearing and Healing the Throat Chakra. Because recently I made a program called Detox for the Physical Body, and I got a lot of requests from people to work specifically with the throat chakra, because the throat chakra is the chakra of divine will. It's really the gateway between the lower vibrational chakras within our physical body and the more spiritual aspects of ourselves. But the throat chakra trips a lot of people up because it is also to do with past life betrayal, speaking our truth, trust. We're all being challenged to trust more right now. So clearing and healing the throat chakra will really help you with this. And it's actually got a long track, which is just under an hour. And then I've broken up all the healing and clearing tracks into separate tracks, so they're easier to listen to. And there's 7 separate tracks. So we go through clearing the energy imprint of past life trauma for the physical body, you know, where we might have been beheaded, stabbed, hung, etc., because often there's deep scarring within the morphogenetic field, and it's that scarring which acts like a distortion and an energy block. It blocks the smooth flow of energy that's coming into the energy circuits of our body, and this is, as I said, getting stronger and stronger as it comes in from the more potent and powerful God force at the heart of the 22 galaxies. We work with clearing the level at the level of the roots and facets of the throat chakra, the deepest stuff, the deepest dark heaviness within us. And there's 3 aspects to that. There's clearing the physical, there's clearing energy sabotage that affect us emotionally, and also emotional patterns where we have been betrayed, where the trust that we've maybe placed in others has been turned against us, basically. Then we have a transmission which is about balancing our personal will with divine will. And that's sometimes a bit complicated and difficult for us to do now, because we are human, we are having a human experience, but we're also being asked to move into more surrender and align more with divine will. And if there are blocks within the throat chakra from past life trauma where maybe we might have tried to do it at some some lifetimes in the past and failed, then this makes it very difficult. And you know, some of the reasons that we know that we might have a problem with the throat chakra is that we might feel hoarse, we might get frequent throat infections, swollen glands. We might have problems with our thyroid gland, because the thyroid gland, the endocrine gland, the thyroid, is very intimately connected with the throat chakra, speaking our truth, trust, betrayal. It's all to do with the thyroid. And so we don't even know often that we're being challenged in this area because it's so unconscious, deeply buried in the unconscious and in the cellular memory of our body, because this is where many of us are at right now. And so we just know that we somehow feel blocked, that we can't expand, and clearing and healing the throat chakra really is supportive right now for moving into the third eye chakra and opening this up, which is to do with creation and manifestation, and opening into the upper chakras above the body and allowing this energy, which is flooding down into us, to actually come through the throat and be assimilated into the lower chakras of our body. So we also work, Lorraine, with clearing and validation, which is where we've been invalidated by others in past life, clearing shame, where we've been ostracized and isolated, where we've been indoctrinated even, or an anxiety feeling like you might have to walk on eggshells, or that you are walking on eggshells, that you always have to listen to what other people say and you can't focus on your own truth. It also works to clear sadness and disappointment about not being heard, of feeling that you are passed over or ignored. And then at the end there's a track to, once we've done all that clearing, there's a track to bring us into harmony and balance, to bring the throat chakra into balance so that we can speak in balance, in trust, and move forward in what it is that we're here to do. So all of these things are valued at $231, and for this special offer I've offered $100 off for all of them. So it's quite a lot of work. I don't like to price my work too high because I want it to be affordable for everybody. So it's a huge amount of support there, I feel, for
yeah.
31.
Thank you for that, Judy. As you were talking about the throat chakra, my throat got a little itchy, very, very interesting. And I know that it's, you know, the throat is allowing the third eye energy to come into our heart. And so we do want that to be nice and strong, especially now when it's so important for all of us to speak our truth. And I love how those meditations and processes really help us get to some of the fears and the anxiety that we have about speaking that truth. Beautiful. Thank you so much for putting this new package together and making it available. We do appreciate that. Of course, that's on the special offer button on this webpage. Okay, we have a few more minutes, and I want to talk a little bit more about some questions that come in from our audience. When we're talking about the Bosnian Pyramid, I think you've already answered this when someone asks, what does this mean for the evolution of humanity?
I feel that it means a lot more for the evolution of humanity than we know right now. You know, just to summarize where I'm at with it, where my understanding is at with it, it is, I feel if we focus on the apex of this pyramid, we understand that there is energy being generated within the pyramid, and it's moving away from the top of the pyramid out into the universal energy field. But there's also, without a doubt, energy coming in to the pyramid, which is one reason, one way of explaining why as we move away from the apex of the pyramid, the energy gets stronger. So there's energy coming in. I'm told that it's coming in now very strongly from the heart center, the God creation energy center at the heart of the 22 galaxies. The energy of Amenti, which is coming up, is helping to generate a very powerful energy, which is going to progressively, I feel, affect all of the planet, not just the people who happen to sit in the tunnels of Ravne that you can go into at this time. I feel that it has much more to come, because if you look at if you look at our chakras within our human body, and I said that the pyramid of the sun, the Bosnian pyramid of the sun, is very similar to us as an energy conduit. So it's an energy conduit, it's an energy transmitter, just like we are, just like our energy fields and our physical energy anatomy is. So we also have the chakras that we've spoken about, and we have chakras opening in most people now, above the head, going up to the 12th chakra above the head. This is allowing energy to come in, and it spirals through our chakras, and the chakras, when the chakras are open, the energy is spinning harmoniously and it's spinning clockwise. So what I gained an impression of when I was in Bosnia is energy going up from the pyramid, spinning clockwise, and energy coming down, spinning clockwise. And what does this create? It creates the image of the double helix, which is our DNA. So I feel we're only at the beginning of understanding what this ancient legacy within the Bosnian pyramid of the sun is bringing to us, right at the beginning. So maybe in a year's time I'll know more. But there's some ancient knowledge left there for us to find. Maybe I'll find it.
Yes, okay, thank you. You know, it makes us look around at other places on our planet. There is one in the panhandle of Texas that they called them medicine mounds, that the Indians used to grow their herbs on the mountain. And when you look at these mountains, out of nowhere, there are 3 in different sizes, and they are obvious pyramids. So I think that this Bosnia pyramid, with its discovery, or I like how you said rediscovery, with its rediscovery in 2005, it is just the beginning of others on our planet that are like this. Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. There are many, and they're all built on very important ley lines, and I would hazard a guess that they all are direct access points into Amenti, the recreation energy within the earth, and they have been created there for a very significant reason, which is now beginning to come to light. And before it was not the time for their discovery, because the earth was in the 3rd dimension and pulsating at a slower vibrational rate, and it's part of a divine plan that they are being discovered or rediscovered now. And the energy, the reason for them being built in the first place, which is as energy transformational figures, really, as devices, this is being activated. They're there for a reason, for sure.
Mm-hmm. And just knowing that we too are reflectors of that, look at our energy and what we're receiving and what we're putting out there, and what is our personal responsibility on managing that energy. Well, it has to be centered in the heart, as you've activated us today.
Yes, very much centered in the heart.
Yes, very much so. Okay, there's a couple questions coming in. Let's see, when you were speaking about Earth is moving into these 5D frequencies, Linda has a question. Can you tell us, Judy, about the 2 Earths that many are talking about? It is said that there will be a 5D Earth and a 3D Earth. Comments on this, please.
Yes, so I've heard this myself as Judy, so I'm going to let Spirit talk about it now, okay? And what they're talking to me about is when we look up at, take Sirius for example, when we look up at the night sky, we see the star system of Sirius. But when we look up at the night sky, we're not seeing Sirius as it is with all the people living on it. We're seeing Sirius through the lens of our own self as we are right now. There are many people on our planet who may not understand or subscribe or even heard of any of the concepts that we're talking about today. They are locked into their own understanding of what life is, and they may or may not be unlocked from this. They may have these understandings for the whole of this lifetime. But what Spirit is saying is that the physical body of the earth will remain, they're saying, will remain one, but the concept of a different reality for those who are on the earth will split into two aspects. The normal way that we've understood life to be and a more expanded way of understanding life to be. Still, they're saying, still on the same planet, but in a different vibratory zone, if you like living in a different vibration. So I'm just asking the question, does this mean two separate planets? And yeah, I'm getting a yes. I don't know a lot about this, to be honest. I'm getting a yes. How it manifests, I'm not quite sure. But I am getting that there's going to be like a vibratory state for the ones that vibrate with the new earth, and a vibratory state for the ones that are not ready for that. And how this moves forward in the years ahead, I really honestly cannot say right now. But that's what I am receiving. I don't know how it manifests at this moment.
Fascinating. Okay, again, so important to really clear this trauma energy that we're going through, these miasmic patterns that are being triggered to be released. You know, let them go. I love that process where we really let that go and understand it. And, right, this is almost like a final exam for each of us. Can we truly live in love in the face of everything, even as we're clearing this and we're assimilating this energy from the 22 galaxies, the heart center of the 22 galaxies? Really, it is as simple as just being that love. I know that sounds a little trite, but this is our role, and the Bosnian Pyramid is definitely, let's say, amping us up for this.
Yes. And you know, I know it's really hard for everybody because we're human and we have human doubts and fears. But what I'm getting now is a little message from Jesus, Yeshua, who also had the same doubts and fears when he was on the cross. You know, Father, why have you forsaken me? He had those same doubts and fears. He was the incredible soul that he was, and yet he also had human doubts and fears. And so he also had to go through that process of surrender and trust and going to a more expanded level of trust and knowing that all is well, no matter what it looks like, everything is fine. And when he trusted fully, he ascended really. And maybe part of our ascension is also going to that final trust and that final belief in all is well, no matter what it looks like. We know just this week there's been some real tragedies. I watch Al Jazeera quite a lot, and I've seen 150 people being killed when an oil tanker blows up. Terrible things, and you think to yourself, why those poor people? Why has that happened to them? What is it that they need to understand, or why have they gone through that? And in some ways there's no answer to this, but the answer that I'm receiving from Spirit now is that we all need to understand that we are souls living an eternal life, and whatever we're experiencing down here in this stage of school of human beingness is really a bit illusory. That we are living in an illusion, and the most important truth that we all need to hold on to is to just open the heart into peace and love, just like the Cathars were able to do, you know, in France several hundred years ago when they all walked into the flames in Montsecoeur. I'm not saying we all walk into the flames, but we're needing to get to a similar level of acceptance, trust, and knowing that whatever occurs is perfect and that all is well. So we're on the journey. It's a soul journey, this ascension thing. It never ends.
It never ends. So get out cleanly and do the right thing. The right thing is love, right? Yeah.
The right thing is actually self-love first, too. Self-love.
Yeah.
You know, just being kind to ourselves. You know, Spirit always say to me, and it's said for years, life is about being happy and well. Happiness. It's about looking at our life, and if it doesn't, and sometimes you get entrenched in survival issue needs, and we get stuck in this a little bit and go round and round, but life, Spirit say, is about being happy and well, and making sure that we love ourselves so that that love can expand through our heart and be so much more magnified and augmented when it goes out to others. Because if we cramp ourselves down and we're miserable, how can we give love to others? How can we support others? We can't. We have to give to ourselves and create the happiness in our own personal lives so that we can truly be the light for mankind and humanity, in our communities, in our families, and around the planet.
As we love to say here on Quantum Conversations, this is when we love ourselves like no one else can. That's so beautiful. Well, I want to wrap up our call with a couple of questions from our audience that do talk more about the pyramids. It is fascinating. Do you know when? Okay, I'm going to wrap up. If this is a three-part question, were there any human remains found in any of these pyramids? And when will the other pyramids be uncovered or excavated? And then finally, if you could talk about the Pyramid of the Dragon.
Okay, so first of all, I want to talk about the fact that at the moment, there's no excavation inside any of these pyramids. All they've discovered with the Pyramid of the Sun is it's sheathed in a very ancient concrete. And whether it is a natural hill that's been sheathed, a pyramid-shaped hill that's been molded to look like a pyramid and sheathed in very ancient concrete, has yet to be discovered. But you can't get into any of these pyramids. They look like hills, and they've got vegetation and trees on them. What you can get into is about 10% of the maze of tunnels that has been shown by, I think, sonar to be going under the Bosnian Pyramid of the Sun, the highest of the pyramids. And so you can go several hundred meters rather, into these tunnels. There's no human remains being found anywhere near them. They were not, to my mind, ever designed for human remains. What has been found in them are big stone blocks, like big stone. They're ceramics, actually, ceramic material in big blocks where you can sit and meditate. What has been discovered on the plateau of the Pyramid of the Sun is this stone with the runic writings, which when translated by the American professors say the Stargates, or the gateway is closed, we will have to defend and conquer until we can move back to the Stargate. So these five, at the moment, these five possible pyramids are pyramidal-shaped hills, okay, not excavated. The Pyramid of the Dragon I want to talk about now. So the dragon is to do with magic, really. The pyramid of the dragon is, I'm told, like a balancing fulcrum point that is going to, in the future, tip us into magic. You know, dragons puff out smoke and they fly. So this is about like bringing things to a new fruition. I feel it's about us flying, us creating the magic, the spiritual magic, which is not like a conjurer. It's a bit like the Magi of ancient tradition who followed the star in the east of Bethlehem. They were Magi. They were ancient, wise beings, astronomers who understood the mysteries of the universe. And so as we begin to understand the mysteries of the universe, we will become more like the dragons, flying, being able to access and bring into our own being, because we are like a micro model of the macro model, Bosnian Pyramid of the Sun, the spiritual magic that is being generated by this energy of below from Amenti and above, coming from the new God creation center at the heart of the 22 galaxies. So the significance, as I sit now, of the Pyramid of the Dragon is that it's showing us the way to something, our own majesty, our own magic, our own human aptitude and abilities to be expressed. But it's very early days, and you know, the foundation that runs the excavations, it's all funded privately. It's not funded by the government or anything. It's not funded by big business. It's a humanitarian concern. And so, you know, they exist on donations, really. But this is an ongoing and very important process that will show us, I feel, over the next few years, particularly over the next 17 years, something very interesting and important. Maybe also it will be reflected in other special energy places around the earth as well, I feel so.
Yes, and so more is to be revealed. And I really thank you for showing us some ways to really get down to, as you put it, the nitty-gritty of cellular memory clearing and healing, so that when we move through this energy in the next 17 years, as it accelerates and amps up, we will be fortified. And can we imagine this place as humanity when we are all empowered to be here, to speak our truth, to live our passion? That is a new world.
It definitely is. It is a wonderful new world and very exciting, really.
As we move back through the Stargate, get ready. Beautiful.
We're already, see, we're already, the Stargate's open. We are already moving back through the Stargate. We are all moving back through the Stargate. So what was written on that stone? The gateway is closed. We have to defend and conquer, and we all have. Look at all the lifetimes we've had of defending and conquering until we can move back through the Stargate. Now we're in 2017. This new energy's been coming in since the beginning of the year. The Earth shifted to the path of pulsating fifth-dimensional frequency in 2012. We've had 4 years to adjust. Now we are moving back through the Stargate to reclaim the truth of who we really are and to probably activate the human potential in a way that we have never been able to activate it ever. Ever. We were created 100,000 years ago by God and by the Christed, some of the Christed extraterrestrial races within this galaxy. They contributed an aspect of their own DNA code to the human being. But this true DNA potential has never been able to be activated because the energy for its activation has never been able to be received until now.
Glorious. That is so beautiful. And now we understand the true shift of the ages and what 2012 prepared us for, moving back through this Stargate. And every single one of us raised our hands to be here at this time to assist in this shift, doing it within our own hearts and helping others. Wow, Judy Satori, this has been a mind-expanding, heart-opening quantum conversation. I thank you so much for your wisdom that you bring forth, and again, this connection that you have with Spirit and this wisdom. As we say goodbye, any words to wrap it up?
Thank you very much, Lorraine. 2 words, 3 words probably, 4 actually. This is from Spirit. Don't worry, be happy. That's what
Don't worry. Yeah.
Worry, happy.
Oh boy, do I wish I had those songs queued up right now. That would be a good one. Okay, it is as simple as that, and it's really what we're here to do. And this is the biggest gift that we can give ourselves in this here and the now. So don't worry, be happy. Judy, thank you for this quantum conversation. Thank you for being here.
You're very welcome, Lorraine, and thank you to everybody who's listening today. Thank you for the part that you're all playing in God's divine plan as well, because whatever I'm supposed to do, I couldn't do it without all of you. So thank you for having me on the show, Lorraine, and many blessings to all of you. Thank you.
Thank you, Judy Satori. If you're interested in working with the teachings and meditations of Judy, please check out her special offer. Thank you for listening. If you've enjoyed this program, please share it with your friends and loved ones. And we thank you for shining your magnificent light and adding it to the world. This is when we love ourselves like no one else can. We leave you now with music from the universe. Music literally created by the universe, as musical notes were assigned to mathematical equations. The result is this beautiful music available at acoustichealth.com. Namaste.